So, morning, everyone. It's lovely to be here today. It's such a beautiful day. It's lovely to see familiar faces, new faces, and it's lovely to know our friends on Zoom are with us today, and hopefully we'll hear from you shortly. If it's your first time here, and a special welcome, and if you're somebody that comes every week, kudos to you too. You're very welcome. I will now light our chalice, which is a custom for Unitarians as a symbol of our free religious faith. I have brought a lighter as backup because last time the matches were against me. If you're at home and you're able, I invite you now to light a candle as well. We come together to remind one another, to rest for a moment on the forming edge of our lives, to resist the headlong tumble into the next moment until we claim for ourselves awareness and gratitude, taking the time to look into one another's face and see the communion, the reflection of our own eyes. This house of laughter and silence, memory and hope, is hallowed by our presence here together. Words by Unitarian Universalist Reverend Kathleen McTeague. So on this beautiful, glorious morning, I now invite us to bring some song into this house with our first hymn. It's number 62 in the Purple Hymn Book, Here We Have Gathered. And if you're not aware, the lyrics will come on the screen, so no worries about a book. Beautiful, thank you. So today is World Meditation Day, and today's theme is meditate. It was founded in 1995 to spread awareness of meditation and the benefits it can have on us spiritually, mentally, and physically. According to the Oxford Dictionary, to meditate is to focus one's mind for a period of time, stemming from the Latin for contemplate. The opening quote this morning was by Jack Cornfield, who is a Buddhist practitioner and teacher, and I found his introductory book on meditation and accompanying CD very useful when I started my seated meditation journey in my 20s. When I think of the word meditate, my mind does tend to gravitate towards thinking of meditation stools or being guided by somebody and focusing on my breath. But I appreciate this is only one way to meditate and one interpretation. I know I also do some of my best meditating when I'm not seated, when I'm practicing yoga or taking a walk out in nature. To meditate can be a spiritual action, and for some it can be seen as something purely restorative or a tool for good mental health. Today we're having a slightly different service. We're having what we call a congregational service, and if you've not attended one in person before, I'll just give a brief run through. So basically that means there will be no address, but there will be 3 opportunities for you to share your thoughts, feelings, memories, or readings during our time together today, which may be inspired or not by the theme of meditate. For those of you in the church, when we have these moments, please come up to use the microphone so we can all hear you. And for those of you joining online, I will invite you also to speak. If you would like to do so, please put a message in the chat, just because then I can see it, and then we will invite you to speak. Steve and Myron, who are here today with technical assistance, will be able to then spotlight you on the screen in the church, so we'll be able to hear you. The one thing I just need to remind you on Zoom is to not speak until you're on the screen, because we won't be able to hear you, and just to make you aware, when you're spotlit, you can't hear us, so just be aware of that. You are the sound, as it were, for everything. That's fine. So that, let's begin. So I invite you now, if you'd like to come up if you have something you'd like to share. And similarly online, if you would like to speak in a moment, let me know and we can spotlight you.
I'm going to read a very small passage in the book by Khalil Gibran, Visions of the Prophet, which resonated with me when I had a look at it. I love you, my brother and sister, whoever you are. I love you as you pray in the mosque, as you practice your devotions in church or worship in your temple. For you and I are the children of one single religion, the Spirit. The various pathways of this religion represent the different fingers of the single loving hand of the Supreme Being, and to guide us towards the fulfillment of the soul, this hand stretches out towards us with ardor. And last but not least, Confucius said to his followers, look into your own heart, discover what gives you pain, and then refuse, under any circumstances whatsoever, to inflict that pain on anybody else. Never treat others as you would not like to be treated yourself. Thank you for listening.
Hello. So I was wondering whether to do a poem or a meditation, and I've sort of gone with a bit of both, with a meditation which I think is very poetic, from A Handful of Quiet by Thich Nhat Hanh. So it's supposed to be done with pebbles, but I wasn't organised enough to get everyone 4 pebbles each. Okay, so just making yourselves comfortable. Can everyone hear me first of all? Yeah. So just making yourselves comfortable in a way that you can be present with this for a few moments. And maybe noticing your feet on the floor, connection to the chair or whatever you're sitting on. Giving yourself permission to take this time. Breathing in, I see myself as a flower, a human flower. Breathing out, I am beautiful, just as I am, and I feel very fresh. Breathing in, I see myself as a mountain. Breathing out, I feel solid. Nothing can move or distract me. Breathing in, I see myself as still water, a calm, clear lake in and around me. Breathing out, I reflect things just as they are, inside and around me. And you might want to just let that resonate, reflecting on any sensations you feel, anything that arises, making that welcome as you can. Thank you.
Hello. Just to share my experience with meditation, nothing didactic or anything of the kind. And of course, each person has their own experiences. For me, the journey started just over 20 years ago with Tibetan Buddhism in about 2001, I believe. And it was a big revelation because I had to learn to train my mind to be still. And then I was studying different religions and practicing many things like theosophy and Sufi Islam and Tibetan Buddhism and other forms of Buddhism and so on. And I did feel what I was told, that it is in silence that we link to the rest of the universe if we accept that we and the universe are one. And it is also in silence that we can receive messages from the universe, whatever that means to different people. It felt right there and then, continues to feel right, to experiment, to do whatever it takes. Because as Confucius used to say, there is beauty in everyone and everything, but not everyone can see it. So I will leave you with that.
Yes, so just a few thoughts on meditation. I joined a transcendental class, transcendental meditation, got to be 45 years ago in Chiswick. And funnily enough, the actress, I've forgotten her name now, not an actress, but you will know, was in the class. She was a bit bolshy and she was questioning everything. It was quite amusing, really. And I did really enjoy that. And then life happens, you move on. It was several years, about 10 years, and I was lucky enough to go to California every year and see my daughter. And she lived in Marin County, in California, or going up north, really. And as luck would have it, Jack Cornfield, who you mentioned, started a Spirit Rock, which is this beautiful meditation centre up in the hills. And it was just a short drive away. So every Monday we would go to the Monday night meditation, and people would come from a long way away because he is just wonderful. And I think it's one of the blessings of my life that I spent time listening to him and meditating with him in a group. The group meditation is very powerful because the sort of energy builds up and it's very special. What I also wanted to say was people get a bit scared of meditation and think, oh, I won't be able to do it, and am I doing it right? And you look around and think, are they doing it better than me? Are they getting more out of it than me? And of course, it's not like that at all. But this lovely thing happened one day, one evening I was there. Everybody was breathing. Some of it was guided, some of it was just concentrating on your breath. And, suddenly I thought, I'm meditating. And it was just a certainty that I was doing it. It didn't matter whether it was not the same as everybody else. This lovely, peaceful, calm. And then another time, which was special, I did half a day there of and we did a guided meditation with Jack and a silent meditation. And then we ended up doing a walking meditation, all meandering along around the hills and paths, which was wonderful. It showed us how to do it. And so you're really mindful of how you step, feeling every part of your foot and what you're stepping on. And suddenly it was as if the earth was this pair of hands holding my foot. It sounds a bit emotional, and it was. It was very special. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you, Caroline. We've just got Thelma's coming up. Let us know if we're speaking loud enough on Zoom. That's what I was worried about.
Angels, when the road is steep and rocky, and the way is hard to find, when your problems all oppress you, and the world seems so unkind, just reach out a hand in silence. Take a moment you can spare. Soon you'll find your special angels all around you, everywhere. When the night is dark and stormy, and the stars forget to shine, when you feel that sleep eludes you, they will bring a peace divine. When you see the sun awaken and you sense a bright new start, you will know your special angels took your hand and touched your heart.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone who's shared. We'll now sing our second hymn. There'll be opportunities again to share later. This is from the Green Hymn Book. It's number 33, Do You Hear?
Hello, everybody. Isn't it lovely to be here today? Well, lovely. All right. Oh, Steve's going. Wonderful to be here today, and Poppy, thank you for your invitation. Thank you for leading us so far into this, and I'm really valuing what everybody says and angels. And I wasn't going to say anything, but Caroline actually reminded me of the meditations that we used to have in here once a month with a prayer lunch, something like that. And Barbara the Buddhist? She would lead us. And there was a moment, there was a session one time where she would. It's the breathing in, the breathing out, and she invited us to do that, and the breathing out was the carbon dioxide. we breathe it out. We don't need it anymore. And the breathing in, the oxygen, we need the oxygen. We are breathing out what the trees, what the plants need from us. We breathe it out and they put out the oxygen that we need. It's very intimate. I really love that moment. It just made us feel, makes the whole world feel so connected, that we have this part and we receive and we give. That's the moment. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Delphine.
Right, I'd like to reflect on how I came by the poetry of Max Ehrmann. It was back in February 1972 when my mother died suddenly of a stroke. She was just 48 years old. She was the linchpin of the family, holding everyone and everything together. So it not only affected my father and I, but all the family. I was an only child, just 23 years old. I'd married the year before in a little Norman church in Essex, where all my family were there at the time, living at the time. My husband was in the Royal Navy, so I'd moved to Plymouth. However, he was on his way to the Americas aboard HMS Ark Royal. So all alone, I had to travel by train back to Essex. Both my father and I found that we'd lost faith in there being a God. How could he take someone so special who meant so much to all of us? We found solace in a poem that became popular in the late 1960s called Desiderata, which is Latin meaning something needed or wanted. It was written by Max Ehrmann, an American, and has become a family mantra. I'd like to read you another of Max Ehrmann's poems, which reminds me very much of my father. It's called A Prayer. Let me do my work each day, and if the darkened hours of despair overcome me, may I not forget the strength that comforted me in the desolation of other times. May I still remember the bright hours that found me walking over the silent hills of my childhood, or dreaming on the margins of the quiet river, when a light glowed within me and I promised my early God to have courage amid the tempests of the changing years. Spare me from bitterness and from the sharp passions of unguarded moments. May I not forget that poverty and riches are of the spirit. Though the world know me not, may my thoughts and actions be such as shall keep me friendly with myself. Lift mine eyes from the earth, and let me not forget the uses of the stars. Forbid that I should judge others, lest I condemn myself. Let me not follow the clamour of the world, but walk calmly in my path. Give me a few friends who will love me for what I am, and keep ever burning before my vagrant steps the kindly light of hope. And though age and infirmity overtake me, and I come not within the sight of the castle of my dreams, teach me still to be thankful for life and for time's olden memories that are good and sweet. And may the evening's twilight find me gentle still. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that, Linda. That was lovely. Got a bit more time if anyone else would like to come up. If not, there will be another opportunity later. We'll now enter a time of prayer then, if you'd like to get comfortable. This is entitled Breathe With Me, and it's by Matt Ausborg. Breathe with me. Breathe with me the breath of life. Inhale, inspire, inspiration. Ruach, Tuma, Spiritus, the Holy Spirit, the many names for breath. Breathe with me. Know that with each breath we take in molecules of air that were breathed by every person that ever lived. Breathe with me and breathe the breath of Jesus, of Moses, of Muhammad, of the Buddha. Breathe with me and know that we are all interdependent, that the spirit of life flows through us. Breathe with me as we come together to do the holy work of interconnection and friendship, and that our work here may be blessed. Amen. We will now enter a period of silent reflection, and then that will be followed by some Tibetan singing bowl playing. So please enjoy. I realised once it started, I probably should have warned you it was like a minute longer than what we're used to. Hopefully that was enjoyable though. We now have our third time opportunity to share. So if you would like to come up, then feel free to do so. And online, if you would like to share, please put a message in the chat and we can spotlight you. Thank you.
Sadly, I'm not very good at meditation. But a line that I read in my Fragments of Holiness book sits with me, and I think of it often, especially when I'm getting shirty. Nelson Mandela, as he walked through the prison door and saw the gates opening for him, realised that if he didn't let go of bitterness and hate, he would be forever in prison. And that sticks with me. I can understand it, and I try to live by it. Not always successfully, but I do try to live by it. And that's the nearest I get to meditation.
Thank you, Jill. Okay. Caroline, do you remember the actress was Sheila Hancock, who was a bit of rambunctious, a really character?
So I thought I'd offer something by John O'Donoghue, who's an Irish poet and theologian and philosopher. And it's actually a blessing called Bannocht, which some of you may have heard before. And I thought I'd share it because I love to sit with some of the imagery that comes with the blessing. It's gorgeous. Well, I find it to be gorgeous. And it's just nice to sit with it. Just for cultural reference, he talks about the curragh of thought. Curragh is a small fishing vessel. So just so you're aware. On the day when the wit deadens on your shoulders and you stumble, may the clay dance to balance you. And when your eyes freeze behind the grey window and the ghost of lost gets into you, may a flock of colours, indigo, red, green, and azure blue, come to awaken in you a meadow of delight. When the canvas frays and the curragh of thought and a stain of ocean blackens beneath you, may there come across the waters a path of yellow moonlight to bring you safely home. May the nourishment of the earth be yours. May the clarity of light be yours. May the fluency of the ocean be yours. May the protection of the ancestors be yours. And may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life.
Thank you, Gav. If there's nobody else who would like to share, then we will move on. Do it. But if you do have something you'd like to share, this is the moment. Anne, would you like to? We can assist, I'm sure.
Can abuse us.
How do you want to do it? Which one?
That's fine.
You're right.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. I'd just like to say, well, years and years ago, about 40 years ago, I learnt meditation with the Brahma Kumaris, and we were taught to meditate with our eyes open, which is quite different to most meditations. But that's not what I really wanted to say now, but I just wanted to share that. I know a lot of you have been sending me healing meditations in the evening, prayers and meditations, and I do think, I'm going to cry.
I do think that because of that, I'm recovering really well. So I'd just like to say thank you so much to you all.
Of course you can. Bye, Joan, online, and thank you, Anne, for sharing.
Really,
Oh.
bless you. Really short. I want to bring it into here. Well, not to here, to outside, to our spiral. Our spiral was inspired by different people, a group of people. They laid it down for us and they planted it for us, and we tried to look after it. But it is a meditation spiral, and I was inspired to come through the doors of this church by talking to somebody about the spiral. It was Sheila, bless her. What resonated with me about the spiral was my experience with my sister in Africa is a very, she's very agitated, she's always busy. We visited Lawrence van der Post's home in South Africa one time, and there's a spiral outside in his garden, and this, busy, active sister of mine walked the spiral and went through, and came out very chilled. And when I see our spiral here, and I talk to people who come through the garden sometimes. Look, this is our spiral. This is what we do. And what I say, and I believe it to be true. You walk in, and you're very concentrated on what are the things that are going on for you. What are the things that are going on with you? Whatever. In, and then you turn the corner, and you walk back. And let go. That's perhaps why it can be a peaceful thing to do, and it's kind of sounds simple, but I think it really can work. And I bless the moment that people put the spiral there, and I hope everybody uses it lots. Thank you.
That's lovely. Thank you, Delphine. And just to let everyone in the church know that Joan online had to leave as she had family arriving, but she said thank you to everyone who has contributed. Okay. Last chow, or whatever they call it. Last call, is it? I don't know what they call it. I don't go to pubs. Last something, isn't it? Last orders. That's the one. Okay. So what we have at the moment then is a song, the music video of it chosen by Kate. I have been informed, which is why I veered off earlier, that we're not sure under which button it's hiding on the system. So Steve's just going to press a button. If it doesn't play, he'll hopefully press another button. So bear with. This is entitled Inner.
Please let me feel inner peace from my center at the center of me. Please let me feel inner peace from my center at the center of me. Please let me feel inner peace from my center at the center of me. Please let me feel inner peace from my center at the center of me. My heart is open, I am aware, in me is a knowing, love, 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 my heart is open, I am aware, in me is a knowing. center of me. Please let me feel your peace from my center, the center of me. Please let me feel your peace from my center and the center of me. My heart is open. I am aware. In me's a knowing of love, love, love. My heart is open. I am aware. In me's a knowing of love, love, love,
Thank you for that selection, Kate. That was beautiful. The images, not just the lyrics, but just brought to mind mandalas. A bit enthused by spirographs. So what those things were called? People remember those? They're addictive, aren't they? And very meditative, I'm sure. So what we would now have is our third and final hymn. So that's number 11 from the Purple Book, and it's Blessed Spirit of My Life. Now our closing words. May you leave this time together changed. May the promises you have made to yourself about who you want to be feel closer to the reality of who you are right now. May you share that feeling of transformation wherever you go. May it spread into every word, deed, thought, and into action, until we are all changed, transformed, and transforming together, becoming our better selves. Amen.